Hey, you found Click with Rona. Each episode of this podcast, I'm going to be interviewing people that inspire me, and I'm going to share their magic, their journey, and their success. The word click has a special meaning in my heart because it was my secret word that I chose with my grandma as a child. When we listen to these people, you're going to notice when it clicked for them. Sit back, grab your headphones, and just click with us. Okay, so back it up. You're 17.
I was always interested in fashion, which is a common denominator with all of us. So I worked in dress shops. I made $1.45 an hour.
I see a little bit the connection of like the metal cabinetry because your family had some background in that.
The metal cabinets, I could see how they are just so utilitarian, and then it just kind of morphed into Moya Living. Yeah.
I didn't know this about you.
It's a secret.
It is a secret. Now it's out.
Yeah.
Welcome. We are here today with Moya. Moya, thank you so much for being here. You were actually the first on my list to ask to when I thought about doing a podcast. So
That just made my day.
aw. No, seriously, thank you for being a part of this. So
Happy to do it. I'm so thrilled to be here.
yeah, isn't this fun?
Yeah, it's an adorable space. Oh my God.
So tell us, my listeners, a little bit about you and just kind of let's talk.
I am Moya O'Neill, Moya Living, and we manufacture and design high-end steel cabinetry, which sounds kind of wacky, but it's magnificent. You have
Absolutely
bought a lot of it from us.
Yeah.
And once you see it, you fall in love with it. So we do indoor-outdoor cabinetry.
And it's amazing. Like people that see it, like love it. It's beautiful. We use it in our projects. I try to push it as much as I can. But okay, so there's so much more to you than just steel cabinetry.
Yes, if I ever thought I would be manufacturing and making steel cabinetry,
Right.
I would have never believed you. And actually, when I was working in the industry before Moya Living, which was scientific industry, which has steel cabinetry, even more so, I would say that. But I just fell in love with it over time.
So back up a little bit because I know a little bit about your start of steel cabinetry. So you said scientific.
Yeah.
So just give us your background first, and then we'll get into the steel cabinetry.
So, the long story short, so I moved out when I was 17, and then I kind of went to college for like 10 years. So I never could figure out what I wanted to be. I mean, I wish someone said, just get an easy degree and go to USC and get a degree in sociology, and then you can just have a degree. But I didn't do that. I wanted, what do I want to really be when I grow up? So I ended up going to school for interior design. I did not graduate. I'm like 8 credits short from Woodbury University. And then I got out of school and I went into sales because of what the jobs I could get was $10 an hour, drafting, and that's not what I want to do.
Right.
So I got into sales. I was a senior account rep for Pitney Bowes of all things, selling mailing machines and UPS systems. Can you imagine?
Wow.
But
No.
I liked the UPS systems. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And then I ended up working for my family business, and we sold reconditioned lab equipment and analytical instrumentation. Then my brother started doing furniture. I'm getting this too long and convoluted, but we reconditioned the metal cabinets. Then we started making the new metal cabinets, and then it just morphed into me doing little projects here and there for my friends and family. And all of a sudden I had an aha moment. I was always doing my art outside of work, and I thought, I own a factory. Why am I not making something here?
Right.
And actually my first idea I never even made, but that's what got me going on it. And then we got calls from the Dakota building in New York City to do a kitchen. And this is the funniest story. So I get a call from Dave McAlpine, this architect, and he's like, I don't know if you can help me or not, but can you do a kitchen for $150,000? And this was in 2012. I'm like, yeah, of course I can.
No way.
So I didn't even know it was in the Dakota building at the time. And then I found out, and then I flew there and did the field measuring myself because I was so dying to see the inside. And I think I went a long way around for that answer, but that's kind of how I got started.
Okay, so
But I still didn't answer the scientific part.
yes. Well, I see a little bit the connection of like the metal cabinetry because your family had some background in that.
Yeah, so we built labs, but and labs have metal casework. It's
Yeah.
not like your dental office. It's more like R&D labs, and people environmental labs, cosmetic labs, which I really made my name in the cosmetic world because
Okay.
they kind of cared a little bit more about the the style of it.
Got it.
So the metal cabinets, I could see how they are just so utilitarian, and then it just kind of morphed into Moya Living, and it was a long way around, but it kind of just morphed.
That's amazing.
And it's kind of the motto there is just pay attention to what you're doing and just keep going.
Then would you say a lot of that is just, how much of it now you didn't know you were going to go into metal cabinets. You just had some background in it from your family. You had some creative entrepreneur. I mean, you're creative. Let's be honest.
I never wanted to work for my family. So this is a kind of interesting story for young people as well, or for old people too. I worked for 100% commission for the first 15 years of my life with my family business, because I never wanted to work for my father or my brother. So I worked 100% commission, and I made way more money than probably I even make now owning the companies. So
right.
Genie Scientific, now our number one clients are Tesla and Apple.
Really?
So it's just gone from building little environmental labs in the 70s and 80s to Tesla. It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you're doing that now, still building
We still
labs.
have that company. Yeah, that company is even way larger than Moya Living.
Okay, so Moya Living's the division of the company that does all of your
like a sister
high-end
company,
sister
yeah.
company
Yeah.
to the residential world.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I know. And I still own Genie Scientific, 51% of Genie Scientific.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know this about you.
It's a secret.
It is a secret. Now it's out.
Yeah. It's kind of like in our world, Gaggenau and Thermador. Like
okay.
Gaggenau's the pretty company, and it's like the Shishi company, and
Yeah.
Thermador kind of pays the bills. It's kind of like that.
No way.
Yeah.
So Genie Scientific is your family's company, your company.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so back it up. You're 17. You had a little bit of a meander in your design school. Like, did you ever know that, obviously you didn't know you were going to do cabinets, but like, tell me relive that journey from like there till now.
I was always interested in fashion, which is a common denominator with
Yep.
all of us. So I worked in dress shops. I made $1.45 an hour.
Wow.
My rent was like $75. Isn't that crazy? That tells you how old I am. Okay, let's cut that part. No, just kidding.
No, I love it. It's fascinating. We actually were just renovating a home the other day. I don't know if you saw my story. And the insulation in the brick of the home, because they use newspaper as insulation.
Right.
So we're pulling it apart and we're looking at the newspaper, and it's from the 50s.
Wow.
Because that's when the house was built. And I pull out an article or part of the newspaper, and it was Malibu.
Wow.
And what the homes were renting for, like a 3-bedroom, ocean view, $11.50 a month, which was probably a lot back then.
It was a lot,
right?
Because houses were like, if a house was $100,000, that was a lot.
But then there was another part of the newspaper that said a 1-bedroom is $110,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So the world just keeps on moving. So okay, go back.
Well, so I moved out. My parents were divorced, and I had my 2 younger brothers. One was mentally ill, and my mom worked nights. So you can just do the math on that. So I thought, let's just get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I moved to Seal Beach because that's the only place I had a friend that would move. That's where she wanted to go. So I'm like, okay, Seal Beach it is. What the turning point for me after kind of floundering around and did dance and some different stuff was I worked at Costa, and I was fascinated by the kitchen. I could wait on 11 tables. I mean, today's, people can't even wait on 4 tables. They
Right.
show up and they're like, who had the lasagna? I'm like, you have 4 tables. Can't you remember who had the lasagna? Come on. You want this 20% tip? Oh my gosh. Okay. I digress. But La Costa was so efficient. Like, you would order if you were out of something from the dishwasher, you would order it out loud to the cold side. I just was fascinated by space planning. So when I went to school for interior design, I wanted to do commercial kitchens, but I kind of completely forgot that, and look where I am now.
Interesting.
Isn't
So
that
it was kind of
weird?
in your DNA.
Yeah. It's so weird. And I didn't remember till I went back to La Costa. My nephew got married there, and we went back for one of his anniversaries. I don't know why I went with him, but and the same busboy was still working there like 40, 50 years later as a busboy.
Way.
But I got to tour, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, this is why I went to school, because I wanted to do this. And here I am making kitchens. So weird.
Full circle moment.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize it until I was standing there.
I can relate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of, I didn't realize my grandmother was a big influence in me and having a furniture store and growing up in it. And
Yeah.
that is why, full circle, I was like, wait, why does this feel so right? Because I grew up in it. It was,
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe, kind
Right.
of what deep in your heart and your soul.
Yeah.
It's like really what you're meant to be. And if people would stop and listen to that.
It's so much easier to work when you wake up and you're so happy to go to work. I mean, we have tough days and we're overwhelmed, but it's like we actually get to be tortured a little bit sometimes by what we want to do. I mean, we have to remember that. Like, when it's hard, we wanted to do this.
Yes.
we're not getting up and doing something that we don't want to do every day.
Would you say that's the difference of an entrepreneur mind or someone who, doesn't have a choice or doesn't, what do you think of that whole theory of, when people say, I like to say I get to do this.
Yeah.
And it's all mindset for me. Everything is kind of a choice that I made.
The entrepreneur thing is really interesting because we get to this certain point as an entrepreneur, and then we have to decide, do we want to get bigger? Are we going to just say the size and we're going to micromanage everything? And I'm sure you've had the same thing where it's really interesting where you have to let go. There's statistics on it where you get to a certain number and you have to let go of stuff. And I can tell you're a great delegator because there's no way you could be doing everything I see on Instagram and, doing all the drawings and picking everything. I mean, I'm sure you're the yes, no person, but it's so interesting. But once you get past that point as an entrepreneur, it's even more fun because then you're just dealing with the high level stuff.
I agree. I agree. I mean, you and I are so like-minded and we've talked about this. It's almost like a defining point where you're ready to relinquish control and you have to have trust because that's when you can actually grow.
Right.
And that's kind of what I've chosen to do because it's like my whole mission is to like empower people to do what they do best so that I can go into the higher level things that I like to do best.
Right.
Because not everybody likes to do what I like to do.
And what you're the best at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that kind of lends itself to this new showroom that I just opened in Laguna Beach that it's so exciting. And we were just talking about it, that I'm helping other artists that, artists sometimes aren't the greatest salespeople. And so I'm featuring so many people that I love and I've beloved them for so long, but now they're in the showroom and it's like just so fun to see the reaction to it. So it's like kind of like justification and verification all in one.
So back it up. Because I know your origination of the showroom, but not everybody knows. So I remember you talking about this idea you had of the showroom years ago.
Yep.
So kind of talk about why you even decided to open the showroom and what is it, and so everybody knows and understands the process. Because I think the difference is with people like yourself, I like to say you walk the walk. You don't just talk the talk. Like you have an idea and it's great. A lot of people have ideas, but it's truly about executing your ideas.
That's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part. And it's the same thing in our world in design. And like people come in, I'm like, great, ideas are great.
I could have done that.
Pinterest ideas are great.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
So tell me what you did for this.
And the hard part for you guys is like, I mean, you can make it look pretty, but it's all the finishing parts that I think is like the hardest part of what you guys do.
No, it's the
all the
gathering it all and then executing it.
Yeah. So I drove by the showroom. I live in Laguna, and I drive to Fountain Valley where we manufacture everything here, right here in Orange County. And I drove past this beautiful showroom. It used to be the old Vaughan building. They sold furniture.
Yep.
And I just was like, oh my God, I'd love to have a showroom. But it was huge. I was just like, it's huge. So, but I was always kind of like what you would say, manifesting it. And I was picturing, like just to have that one window.
Yep.
And then the appliance store, Perch, imploded. And I was in all the Perch stores, which it kind of had run its route. I kind of feel like in a weird way, if I'm going to say this on camera, it kind of denuded my brand after a while. But so it actually ended up being kind of a good thing for me, I think.
Yeah.
But the other people that were in there are my partners in the showroom. And they had 8 people in there and they had nowhere to go. So that day I thought, I'm going to just call this guy. Everybody says he's nice. We're not really competition. And I just called him and said, let's meet up. What are you going to do? And he goes, I need a showroom.
This is the other cabinet manufacturer.
Yeah, the other cabinet our partners in the showroom. It's called R&L.
Okay.
So have him up. I know I look him up on LinkedIn. I see he likes wine and it's Italian. So I have my husband cook Italian food and we have some wine. And we start talking, and he's like, wants to go by SoCo, wants to go somewhere. I said, well, there's this building. I don't know. And then I told him the price, and he didn't even blink. He goes, well, it doesn't sound so bad. I'm like, okay, let's go look at it right now. And that's how it all happened.
Seriously.
It was just like that. But it was like making lemonade out of lemons. And that's like even with design, right? When you have something or something's in the way, you make it a focal point instead of trying to hide it sometimes.
Absolutely.
And it's like so interesting how we try to like not...
Yeah, people
do that. I don't want to talk to that person because he's in the store too, and he might be my competition. No, it's always good to know everybody and talk.
Absolutely, collaboration. It's just a mindset.
And there's enough to go around.
There's enough to go around. It's the whole mindset of scarcity versus abundance.
Right.
I'm a firm
Right.
believer in manifesting. You know that.
Yes.
You know, just putting it out there, and you planted a seed, and then you were able to kind of go to, you know, another cabinet maker that was in Perch, and now look at this beautiful partnership.
Right.
And just look at the ripple effect that it's causing in the community.
Right.
Not only, but then everybody's business is being affected by it. I mean, down to, let's talk about all the people you have in your showroom now.
Yeah.
I mean, just tell me.
So
It's
exciting.
so cool.
I have like some of my favorite people. Marlo Bartels is a tile maker. He's pretty famous, and he's done pretty much everything all over town, all over the country, even internationally. So he's in there. Marlo Bartels, Jerome Castaldi, who you painted with. That's he's a Laguna guy, but he has a big place in Fallbrook. But he does huge murals. He's known for doing the Yard House, but he's in there. Michael Ezell, who is an amazing potter, and I just sold one of his octopus platters today. And he's known for doing like crazy caricatures. And I actually bought something from him. I had him make a statue of my brother playing tennis 40 years ago.
No way.
The only problem is I have a lot of old friends that are artists because I'm older, because I was in the sawdust a long time ago. So I got to get some new young ones. But who else?
But you have some new young ones, right?
We have Seaman and Salazar.
Yeah.
We have some of the first lights they've done in a new collection, and I'm getting more vessels from them. And Cerno, Kyle Bunting.
Yep.
And Gabriel Scott's in there. Beautiful lighting. So that's just to name a few. And then Diana Garreau, of course, my dear sweet friend.
I love
and
her.
Uber talented wallpaper, cushions, jewelry designer. So
she's amazing. So talented.
And just the reaction of people coming in and saying how insane it is. And I even had someone say the ultimate compliment. He was like, I go all over Milan, and this is as nice as any store I've been in Milan. I'm like, holy moly. I don't know, like, live up to that one. That's pretty good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. I mean, and then you even have the plant daddies with all of their
Oh my God, don't forget
beautiful, like, vessels and plants that are sculptural living art.
Yes. We're putting another one in today. Sold one the other day. It's wonderful. And I think I forgot someone else too.
Well, I'm sure it'll come up, but just by going to your opening, that's kind of how I got introduced to the plant daddies.
Yeah.
I mean, just this is the trickle effect.
No, and he's saying that we've made him the most new contacts and most monetary of anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's
being
just
in that
helping,
showroom.
and it helps all of us. I mean, we met him at your showroom. He had this beautiful display of all of his plants. They're just the coolest
insane.
people. They're amazing artists.
He's so nice.
So nice.
It is. His plants are art. Oh, and we also have John Vogren's private labeling us some furniture now from the Kellogg Doolittle House. So that's like, I'm actually working on writing a book on his talent, because he spent 22 years, as you were lucky enough to see.
I was.
Very few people, a handful of people have ever been in that house. And I don't know when anybody's going to be able to be in that house again, but his talent is like Michelangelo.
He's the artist, designer, literally made that house. Fabricator. He is one of the most talented, humble people I have ever met. And you see the beauty in people. Yeah. You see their gifts. And that's something I love about you, because you were able to, this guy, you know, he literally started as an apprentice with the Kellogg Doolittle House and built that whole house himself. And
he did everything in that house, but those columns. I mean, he did the sandblasting, the door handles, the electrical plugs, the floors. I mean, if you just look at the floors, the rock floors, I mean, it's just astronomical. There's not one crack in those floors.
It's almost, it's like unbelievable.
You can't even explain it.
I can't even explain it. I mean, to me, it makes, like, he should be the talent is like above Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah.
I mean, Frank Lloyd Wright's amazing, right? But it's the same thing. But like the complexity of what John has created is like next level. It's like,
he's so fun to interview, because when you ask him how he did it, you say, how did you make these, these curving beams and such? He's like, well, I went down to Walmart and I got some poster board. And it's like, he's so humble. Or how did you carve these, these fronts of the cabinets? Well, I did in the driveway. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
that was probably a highlight of life.
Yeah,
just to meet someone like that.
And I was obsessed. I could not stop thinking about him. And then Greg and I went to go, my photographer, Greg Sims, not my photographer, my best friend and photographer, Greg Sims. Sorry, Greg. And we went there and photographed for 3 days because I just wanted him to have a library of what he did.
Absolutely.
So, but now it's going into, we want to get a book.
And absolutely, he deserves it.
Yeah.
And it takes a person like you to see a talent, because otherwise this person would have probably gone unnoticed, and I don't even understand why.
Yeah.
But it takes a person to do something about it. Again, it goes back to the execution.
I went and heard him speak at the Sam Maloof Center, which I highly recommend people go to. It's in Rancho Cucamonga. I never heard about it before. It was insane. And it's like, and then there's a whole counterculture that came from San Diego of furniture makers.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And they were all surfers, and then they made furniture. It's crazy.
So much of our world is kind of intertwined with like, so people working with their hands, or artists. You had posted something the other day, and I said that's exactly what I wrote my master's thesis on.
That's right. So what? Tell me about that.
So you had posted. It was a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne,
right?
And it was a kindergarten class or first grade, something like elementary school class that was playing music to Ozzy Osbourne
on a xylophone.
On the xylophones. I mean, it was fascinating, right? Just so cool. Beautiful. Like anybody can look at that and appreciate that. And I was like, that's exactly what I wrote my master's thesis on. And you were like, well, what are you talking about? So I'll tell you when we see each other. But I don't know if you know, I was a teacher in my past life.
Yes, I love your story, but I think you should share it again.
Well, I before I became a designer, I was a 6th grade teacher, elementary school teacher. I taught all grades, but mostly 6th grade, and I love that age because I think they're so impressionable, and that's when they need you the most.
Right before.
Right before. But it's a cool grade. But when I was in grad school, I went to the University of Pittsburgh. My master's thesis for education was on integrating the arts into the curriculum and the positive effects it has on academia and education. And I actually lived it when I was in Pennsylvania and then moved to California, and I actually saw the difference between, in Pennsylvania, they put a little bit, it's just part of the curriculum, the arts. Yeah. So these kids are getting
They used to have that here. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. I mean, it's part of the reason why I left the education system, because I felt like, okay, I'm not going to beat this system, and it's such a shame because I saw my kids in the East Coast, 4th grade, their artistic skills, just because they've had art along the way. Yeah. It actually translated to education. I saw it in action. But you're reaching, not every kid is going to be, an academic scholar. Like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Not all of us were. Some of us were. Some of us, it came easy. Some of us didn't. But you need every single type of person in this world to make the world go round. And I can attest, like, John, who built, probably, I don't know, maybe he was a genius in school and academic, but the guy is a genius with his hands. And
it's crazy what he there's nothing he can't make something out of.
It's unbelievable. Anybody, I mean.
So now I should do a pitch. Moya Living will have a furniture line by John Vaughan.
Yes. Are you serious? Yeah. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us, like, what's he gonna do? Because you said that when we met him, like, you need a furniture line. He was like, what do you mean? And we're like, this is amazing. Like, you're one of the best artisans we've ever seen.
Well, we have 2 pieces of credenzas by him in the showroom, and we call them the Dragonfly. But basically, any kind of cabinetry, and so he's finishing up the pool at the Kellogg Doolittle House, and allegedly he's going to be done in the middle of August. So after that,
he's free to start making furniture.
Yeah, and then we have friends in our industry, people that are offering up their studio. If he wants to do stuff there, he can do it there. So there's so much love going around for him. It's going to be great.
I love it. Okay, so you've told me just a few things that you don't even realize the ripple effect that you've caused. Yeah, just because of you.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I know, it's so fun.
It's so fun to, like, help other people. Like, you've helped the Plant Daddies, you've helped all these artists, Kyle Bunting, like John, like all of these things. I think that's
kind of what I think we have the same common denominator. So I had this test I found in one of my, like, gratitude journals, and it was like how to find what your true values are. You make a list of all your values, and then you do this whole thing with intersecting and all circles and stuff. And mine is authenticity, which I know is yours.
Yes.
And helping. So that's my 2. I mean, there's all other ones, but those are my top 2.
Yeah.
So it's like when you stay true to that, then life's even more exciting.
I love it. Yeah, it is exciting. Is there I mean, if you're following those two core values, right? If you're saying authenticity and helping, I think that we can relate with that.
Right.
I feel like it's hard to not wake up and just be happy if you're staying true.
Yeah.
And I think, and it's not like, that's not everybody's core value, right?
No, there's all different ones.
Yeah. But would you say, you wake up, what's your definition of happiness?
Well, mostly just being with my husband and my dog, honestly.
Right.
And then walking the beach. I mean, it's not work is number one.
Sure.
I mean, I write in a journal every day, and if I say I got that quote out or I got that order, I think that's not really a great day. I mean, It's a great day.
Yeah.
Pays the bills, but to me, it's I watched the sun go down,
Right.
or, I smelled, the flowers, or I saw a little flock of birds or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me, more centered. But I get off to the races. I get manic. I'm crazy. I'm sure I'm all ADD, ADHD,
right.
all that stuff. I'm a little nutso, but that's the fun part too.
That's the fun part. But then you're resetting, because I know you have such an amazing home. You have a beautiful view. You go to the beach. You see the ocean. It's kind of what I need too. It's my downtime.
Right. And it's hard to have downtime. You have to schedule it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you'll never do it, because there's always more to do. There's always more on that damn list. That list never gets done. It never gets done.
It never gets done, and you can't let yourself get beat up by that, because there's always going to be more. So what is next? So we have the showroom now, and is that kind of feeding your soul, just having that showroom?
Just the other day, having a really nice client in, and just the reaction was it was just like, it's what I knew it could be, but I hadn't really seen it. I mean, we've had some bigger events where you don't really get to talk to people, but just when their reaction when they came in, and then someone came in again yesterday and did the same thing. She's like, "Oh my God!" It was just, it just really, not so much the accolades. It's just that I feel like I'm on the right track.
Right.
So, and when you do what you're in your groove on, it just comes naturally.
Right.
Yeah. So, for me next, I want to slow down a little bit and travel a little bit more with my husband, and go in the van. We went on a 22-day trip, and just, was on a 2-lane highway with nobody in front of us and no one behind us. It was amazing. Blankets of flowers everywhere.
Where'd you go?
Owens Valley, Tahoe, Boise, but Stanley. Okay, nobody go there. Stanley, Idaho, and then my husband Wynn, who was my everything. We went to Yellowstone for his big birthday, and we were right before the big tourist thing, so it was great. We went in May.
So okay, so nice. That's a good time to go.
So I always go in September, and it's all dried up and fires. So this time we're gonna go ahead of it this time.
That's I love it. I lived through your stories vicariously.
Yeah, and I actually didn't do as many stories, which was kind of nice too.
You didn't do too many, but it was enough to go. Okay, I got to do that. It's on my bucket list.
Yeah, so just saw a lot of really cool stuff, and went into soda pop shops where middle schoolers are in there getting soda pops in the middle of Idaho, and just kind of
simple life.
Everybody's so nice when you're even ordering something. They're just so nice to you. It's kind of strange.
It's strange. I mean, we're in Orange County, California, right? And it's hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
So I have that moment too where I kind of want that slow down.
It was crazy. I wanted to go to Jackson, Wyoming, and I was like, I want to go shopping. And then as soon as I got there, why did I come here? This is exactly like being back in Newport Beach. Nothing against it, but that was not what I wanted to do. And as soon as I got there, I'm like, why did I say I wanted to come here? It's beautiful, but it was just back to being in the same, what we do all the time.
Right.
Not that. Yeah.
So you wanted to kind of go more off the beaten path.
Yeah.
To kind of get that
Nowheresville.
balance.
I want to be in Nowheresville.
Right.
With no one there.
I love it.
Everybody thinks I'm big old, I love stuff, but I really like being alone and quiet a lot.
Yeah.
A lot more than people know.
Interesting. Tell me about that.
Well, I definitely need to be alone. That's why I'm looking at your beautiful space here, and I totally get it.
You can come use it anytime. Just come and...
you need to be creative. You need to be quiet.
Yeah.
Because if you're just busy all the time, it's hard to be creative.
Well, it's funny. I was telling you a little bit when you walked in, that's kind of why I got this space, and it just kind of evolved into what is this going to be? It was I would come and sit in here in this blank space and go, what do I want to do? And it was away from the noise, away from my office, away from everybody asking me for things. Yeah. And I was like, okay, what really makes me happy? It's like sharing. I come across, I'm so enamored by so many of the people in our industry.
I know,
we're so blessed, and it's fun to see all these successful people but there's another side of it. And so for me, I was like, I need this downtime to like create.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of my little she shed, I suppose.
Well, we're surrounded by so many people that are very high end talent, but they truly care. I think that's the people we're drawn to, is the ones that like really care about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, I mean, they would do it if they didn't get paid.
And that's, I think, that's how I met you, through the organization and of estate partners. And it is just truly amazing people that are so humble, but they're the top of their game. And I think it goes back to those core values of genuinely wanting to help people and authenticity.
And that estate partners is a good lesson for everyone to join groups of whatever you're interested in. It just makes you bigger, stronger. It's just healthier. I mean, joining estate partners, and it was very strange how I got into that. I quit Vistage because it was no art in it, but I did it for 5 years. It was the best thing I ever did, but I wanted my nephew to be in my group and blah, blah, blah. So then, like, within 2 weeks, I got asked to be in estate partners. And it was like meant to be, and they're more my my soulmates, so to speak.
And just to give people who don't understand what estate partners is,
it's a group we meet every first and third Wednesday, and it's a group of the high end makers and service providers for our industry, for the high end luxury market that we're in.
And what would you say the core values of that group is? I mean, we know
doing the best that you do, and doing what you say, and saying what you do, and doing it on time, and doing it to the best of your ability. And
it's very simple if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like these basic principles of life that I live by. It's like, say what you do, mean what you say, and just follow through.
Yeah.
What would you give your younger self advice about?
Well, I would have probably just said, get a degree in something simple, so you could just say you have a degree to my parents. But okay, that would be number one. Thank God, I could have done it so easy too. But I was just so enamored with it. I just had to, what was I going to be in life,
Isn't that funny that that's such a societal, what you have to be at life? And
I still don't know.
I don't know either sometimes. I'm like, my story of when I picked to be an interior designer. Did I ever tell you this story?
No.
And this was my click moment. And I say, what's your click moment? And I'm going to ask you what yours is.
Uh-oh.
But my click moment was, I was a teacher. I wasn't happy. I saw the system failing. It wasn't aligned.
I love that story too. You got to tell that on one of these podcasts.
Yeah. It wasn't my core value of where we were going with this whole education. And it was like, I'm not going to beat this system. I got to get out and do what makes me happy, or I'll be struggling. And I'm in a bar and in my 20s, early 20s, and I'm not a big drinker by any means, but I'm standing at the top, being very philosophical as my young 23-year-old self, overlooking the bar at a dance club, and I meet this random guy, and we're just talking random stupid stuff that you talk about in a bar in LA, and I was telling him, yeah, I'm good at this, and I'm good at that, and I really like this, I like that, and he went, so what? And I was, what? He was like, so what? You're good at a lot of things. I was like, oh. He said, why don't you pick one thing and be great at it?
Yeah.
Okay. Life changer.
Yeah.
At that very moment, it really clicked with me and it resonated. Like, pick something you want to be great at.
Somebody was talking to you not in a soundbite, and they were just saying something real to you, which we don't do anymore.
Totally. It was a real interaction.
Wow.
I have no idea who this person was. Never saw him again in my life.
Yeah.
But he changed my life, literally. And that's when I went, and I really went in deep soul search of what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And, at the time I had just bought a condo and designed it. My best friend who I grew up with, he moved out to California a year after I did. And he saw my condo and he was like, why aren't you an interior designer? And I went, so everything I do now in my design business, is exactly what I did as a child. So that was my aha moment. So I just went back to what made me happy as a kid, because you don't have stress when you're a kid.
That's true.
And that's what I say is when you.
That's true.
What are you thinking about?
Well, I thought about a few things, but one of them, I love telling this story because I loved Man from U.N.C.L.E. I was in love with Ilya Kuryakin, but I was always a leader as a little kid. So I had I made all my girlfriends do this initiation, rolling down hills and stuff, because we live by these fields. And I called it the YPS Club because it was spelled spy backwards. But I just had that moment.
love that.
But the moment that it was my click moment was I was at John Barber's glass studio. It's no longer, and he just passed away, by the way. But and this man, Ron Deere, do you remember?
Yeah.
So he
totally.
made glass panels
Yeah.
for this. It was the first time he made them, and it was a long time ago. And I started thinking about my metal cabinets, and I was kind of thinking more vintage, like hutch stuff, and then I
Right.
could put his panels in it. And that's how really Moya Living started, was standing in that studio.
No way.
I know, weird. A glass blower's studio. It was by the Sapphire now. It was there. It's called Studio Arts, and it was all glass blowers from all over.
So that's really what, like...
I was like, I could do this in my factory. Why am I
Wow.
not doing this? And I never did make that piece, though. But that's the thing. Just pay attention and just try stuff.
Yeah.
It's not going to all work.
A lot of times what we think we're going to do, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're going to do, but it's sometimes it gets you to that spot. You just put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think about the end goal. It's the journey.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing,
Yes.
right?
And I like what you said about the kid, because I was thinking about my own bedroom, and I'm thinking about my Barbie dolls, which I still have.
Do you really?
Yeah, I kept them immaculate. I'm very
No
unorganized.
way.
But my Barbie dolls I have everything.
Do you really?
The shoes, the little purse, the little pearl necklace, everything.
No way.
I'm just now letting my niece and nephew play with them very
Really?
carefully.
No way. I love that.
So I don't know who I'm saving them for.
No, it's so funny because I'm a hoarder in some things, but then I purge a lot. And some of the things I purge, I like really regret purging. I'm like, darn it, I wish I would have had that. Like, I had a Swatch watch or phone. It was the clear. My daughter would love it right now. She's like, did you have this? All the stuff that I had as a kid. She's obsessed with like the 80s, 90s stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, wow, I wish I would have had that. But there's so many cool things. And now I think, now I'm conscious of that. So now I'm starting to save things. I don't know if that's the start of a hoarder.
You got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm a collector as well, but now I am getting more purging as well, but refining my collections, I guess.
Yeah. I'm finding that, like, for me, even personally, I'm starting to collect things that like really speak to me.
Right.
And that have like this really cool meaning or history, or you can feel the energy in things.
Right. Because they start owning you. If you have too much stuff, then it just starts owning you.
Yeah, and then it becomes like.
And I have too
clutter.
much stuff. In full disclosure, I totally have too much stuff.
I do too. I'm trying to, like, I started thinking about that in the studio here. I'm like, we haven't even really totally staged it. I'm like, oh, I have a problem. I can bring a lot of stuff in here.
Well, as a designer, you're never done.
Never.
Ever.
No, everything's a collection. I can use that someday and somewhere in some project.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd like to go vintage shopping with you someday.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's make a plan to go.
Okay.
It's some of my favorite things are from my house that we just purchased. You still have to come over.
I know.
So we have to plan that. So both of us are so busy, but we have to plan. And I can relate to the downtime thing.
Yeah.
So I get it. So it's like when you're not working, you're not doing something, you kind of just need that time to recharge.
Yeah. I kind of hibernate on the weekends.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. And it's not a bad place to hibernate.
No.
Yeah.
No. Turn the brain off for a little bit.
So what do you think is next? You got the studio.
Just build a studio and just have events there. And I like to do learning events where it's not like I'm trying to sell my cabinets events, but like I'm teaching us something. So, one of my favorite ones is how to sell the high end. And it's like a speaker that really makes it so clear, and just having my favorite people come and learn how to sell the high end, and just different things like that, or helping young interior designers, or anybody I can help,
right?
And then have events there that have meaning for different things, and helping John Vaughan. I want to do my dream is to have it at the Rivian Theater. If I could have his images on there, and then Greg and I interview him in front of everybody, that's my dream. So I'm trying to manifest that one. If you can help me out, anybody, help me out on that one.
Why? We could do that. Why not?
Yeah,
let's do it. I have a little connection with that.
Okay, there you go. Done. We're all done.
I love it. So, is there anything else you would add to say? I think my purpose is to share everyone's stories, because I think they're fascinating. Everybody's journey is a little bit different. What would you say to that person that's listening right now that's not sure what they want to do, or they're struggling to figure it out? You know, like you said,
well, I've been a royal screw up in a weird way though. Screwing up those 10 years made me the person I am today. Like don't get so down on yourself. I mean, I've gotten in trouble. I've had all kinds of things happen to me, and just learn from it and move on. But we all, I think, with hate to say it, all this Instagram, we're all trying to be perfect girls. It's impossible. It's impossible. And just learn from where you're going, and then just move on. But it's just, whatever is happening to you is for a reason, and it kind of helps you become the person you're going to be. Like I always say, my personality is from all this crap I did. And like when I lived in Seal Beach and rode around on my bike and worked 2 jobs and really didn't know what the hell I was even doing. But it kind of helped me become the person I am.
Well, I think unfortunately, I think the world we live in is all about showing the highlight reel. Yeah. And no one's showing.
I'm guilty of that too.
Yeah, we all are. I mean, maybe we should start showing I'm just sitting in bed crying right now.
Oh, I know. I cry on my way home from work sometimes when I get overwhelmed. And then I try to think, okay, I chose this. This is what I get to do.
Yeah. No, it's stressful. It's hard. And nobody ever said it's going to be easy. And I truly, firmly believe that nothing that's amazing comes easy.
My dad said if it was easy, everybody do it.
Absolutely. Right? Yeah. It's so true. But I think people see, I actually had this conversation with a potential client yesterday. They bought this beautiful house right on the water, and they stretched themselves a little thin to get in that house. And the wife was like, well, I want to do this. I want to do this. And the husband's like, well, I got to figure this out. And I said, you don't have to do it all right now.
Right.
It's okay to not have it perfect. I said, unfortunately, where we live, everything looks perfect. And then the people you're around tends to look perfect. Yeah. So it's very hard to not want to be right there, right then. Right. And I feel like it's almost an analogy in life.
Right.
Like people don't see the progression to get there sometimes. And the progression to get to that spot, it was a lot of failure and missteps or time.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight.
No. And I always think of the story about Interior Designs Homes. I mean, because I consider myself a designer as well, even though I'm a manufacturer, that our homes are never done, and kind of the cobbler's shoes, and what was that show, Will and Grace, that awesome designer Melinda Ritz said, that's why she had her house was never done, because my husband is like, can't you pick a freaking couch? I mean, come on. I'm like, no. But I'm not sure, and people come over and they'll see it, and I gotta pick the perfect one. It's like, it takes me 2 years to pick a couch.
I have yet to pick pillow fabrics for my sofa. I can't. Well, and it's hard. And being in the industry, we see so much. Yeah. And then every season, something new comes out. Right. And you're like, well, what if I'm like, just make it again. Or, I'm like, I don't want to waste money. But at the same time, I can't commit to something because we see so many things. We're in that industry.
And going back to your client, sometimes it's fun to be on a budget. When I did some amazing stuff for Olive Crest, their room where they do amazing work with foster kids in Orange County, and the room where the parents that are losing their kids meet the foster parent was just an atrocity. And it was myself, Natasha Hogan, and Mark Hallaby. And so we did 2 rooms during COVID in 30 days. And there was no place to buy anything, and they didn't have any money. And it was the most fun I've ever had. And it came out amazing. So now I'm working with them on other projects.
I love that.
But it was like being on a budget in a weird way is kind of freeing in a way.
It is, because it actually kind of forces you to make decisions.
And be more creative.
You're like, okay, I got to get creative and, find solutions. Yeah. I've had a lot of fun doing those types of projects as well.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's the fun stuff that we get to do, too, that we don't always talk about it. And sometimes I think I should talk about it more, but I don't want to act like I'm bragging, but it's also good for Olive Crest to people to know about what they do.
Yeah. So what is Olive Crest?
So Olive Crest, it's so much more than just foster care, but there's like 3,000 foster kids in Orange County, and they have group homes for young people, and the ones I work on are more like the girls' homes, where it's kind of their last chance. They're in their teens, late teens, and they come from drugs, being on the street, prostitution, all kinds of things, and they put them in these homes, and it's kind of like they're trying to get them, and they have the most amazing success stories. If you'd start crying if I started telling you some of them.
Yeah.
But so it's just, and they're so grateful when you do something. And it's so easy for us, like, oh, put a couch here and put all this here. And they're like, oh my God, Moya. You know, it's like so crazy how means so much to them, and it's so easy for us.
Yeah. You know, I think that's a privilege and an honor that we should be able to, and we get to give back and do these things. I've done a few of those homes like that, those, you know, and it's just puts you in a place of like complete, wow.
Yeah.
Like stop and be grateful every single day.
We live in a little bubble.
We do.
Yeah.
But it's a good place to be in when you're able to kind of give back to the community.
And in closing, we're doing a kitchen. I wanted to do a new kitchen, but for the people that work at Olive Crest, and they always want to go last, and they're like total angels, and they don't make any money. So we're doing a kitchen right now. So I'm going to use metal lab cabinets, but paint them a pretty color. So I'd probably be posting something about it where if somebody wants to donate some stuff, they can.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have such a great community. I think anybody would kind of pitch in and do these things.
I mean, it's coming off, you know, jobs or whatever. I mean, it's,
absolutely. We can do that.
Yeah.
So, Moya, this has been amazing. I've learned so much that I didn't even realize so many things about you. I know we've talked many times, but we need more time like this. So let's make it happen.
Ditto.
But thank you so much for being on my podcast, Click With Rona. And I want everybody to find you. They need to know about you. Where can people find you?
MoyaLiving.com.
All right. And you have an Instagram as well.
Yeah, Moya Living.
Okay, Moya Living.
Moya not dead.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Awesome.
Thank you.